Okay, the reason why I'm making this part two to my response to Spax is because one, I'm sobered up now, and I think I'll actually make a little bit more sense. And two, Spax, uh, I really think you deserve it because you. This is a long time coming. This is a long time fucking coming, dude. Um, Also, there's two parts to this video that I'm responding to, but the first part was basically just Spax's mom and him arguing, and that was it. And that was only like 3 minutes long, and I just don't care to show that. If you want to see that, I'll link that right here in the description. That's perfectly fine. But let's get this started, shall we? And finally, let's put an end to this chapter. At least I hope. Because honestly, in a way, I kind of owe it to myself to open up a little bit about what I've seen and what I've observed. I mean, I know you'll call me a minion and uh or a cohort or whatever, but I'm sorry, dude. The evidence doesn't lie. I have so many messages from you that were sent to me from other people showing that you just can't let shit go. And this has been stretching on for over 12 years now. It I would say grow up, but I think you're just incapable of doing so.
Anxiety attack. And I'm sick of her saying, "Oh, I was yelling at the DMV." No, I didn't. Not until she went. I said, "I'm leaving." Just, oh my God. I raised my voice, but because the woman was raising her voice. Just, I was going to try to explain things calmly, but oh my God, I'm considered not the adult because she's raising her voice first.
That's only part of it. The reason why you're considered not an adult is because you are a grown man child that never takes responsibility for his actions. And I say that with absolute impunity.
Just, oh my God. I can't trust my mom for anything. I can't trust her. I want to be the one to explain things because I feel it's better coming from me. And she just yanked, and she then was like saying quietly this stuff, and I was like, "Oh my God, stop! Let me just do this, please."
Because you're completely incapable of explaining yourself in a coherent fashion. You have proven this over the past 12 years that everyone has known you. Every single time when you say something, you mean the polar freaking opposite or you don't mean it at all.
I have a valid reason why this gives me anxiety.
That's the thing, Spax, is that even if you do have a valid reason that it gives you anxiety, you should understand that there's other people that have valid reasons why they avoid you because you give them anxiety or a panic attack. You, you, you think you still have not done anything wrong. I mean, you truly believe that you haven't done anything wrong to, anything wrong to someone. Despite your interview with Dylan, it doesn't matter because you haven't changed. You refuse to change. You refuse to accept responsibility for your actions. And then you complain why no one treats you like an adult. And, dude, like, I'm not trying to be insulting here. I'm really not. I'm actively trying to tell you that the reason why you're stuck in this stage is because of your own doing. You can only move on if you look inside yourself and find out that the problem lies with you, not everyone else around you. Why do you think why do you think people keep leaving you? Why? Like, ask yourself that question. Start with that. Why do people keep abandoning me? It can't just because they're all assholes.
Yeah, it seems like it's a repeat of the whole Mike incident where my mom just bailed. Like I just told my mom, stop. And her whispering was louder than mine. So I was just like, stop. And she just yanked her earbud out. I was like, oh my God.
And Spax, I'm not surprised that this is the technique that you use to get sympathy. It's rather sickening, actually. You know, she was there for you, and then you just kind of treated her like crap. Now, honestly, it is a bit of her fault, quite a bit of her fault, that she enabled you to have this behavior for so long. You're almost 40 years old. You're going to be 40 in like what, 4 or 5 years? You're older than I am, dude. And you still act like this. This is beyond ridiculous at this point. You just can't keep blaming your mom for everything or everyone else. Like I said before, you have to take responsibility for your own actions. Also, why are you having your mother there? You know, is she supposed to be moral support? Like, dude, you need to face your own problems. You have to face them by yourself sometimes.
Is Dylan free in a couple hours? I can probably do it by then. Uh, If not a couple, how about 1 hour? Just 1 hour. Oh my god. Also, this may have just cost me something important. Not just, I'm not talking about this, but something I've been saving up for because my mom's refusing to give me that extra 100 she was going to help me with on something. This just got so bad.
I honestly have no comment on any of that. Uh, I'm just going to move forward because, again, I'm not trying to be super insulting in this part. I'm just telling you how it is. And, dude, if you wanted the money, all I can tell you is that maybe, just maybe, you should have treated her a little bit better. Just saying.
Dealing with my mom's was difficult because in the background, she's constantly doing these wave motions. She's like, oh, just hurry it along or stop. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm allowed to explain my side. My mom's difficult. She's really, really, really difficult. And if anything, that difficultness rubs off on me, I guess.
Could you think about this fact for a second that your mom maybe just really didn't want to be there because this is going on the internet and she probably has been dealing with this crap for God knows how long, probably longer than 12 years, with all of your outbursts and all of your nonsense that just goes on in your life. And she's probably getting tired of it at this point. I don't know how old your mom is, and again, I'm not really defending her, because it is kind of her fault for enabling you to do everything that you have been doing so far. But the fact is, dude, is that I, I can honestly see that she probably just did not want to be there because she's probably tired of it. I would be tired of it too if I had a problem child son like you.
I'm going to go get a Mike's because I need something to drink bad. I'm going to then try to do some scooter collecting tonight. See if I could just. I don't know what to do. I'm just worried. I need this opportunity. And now, thanks to my mom's stubbornness.
Again, it's not her fault. You're the one that has to face this, that had to face that interview by yourself. Why did you require your mother? Why? Why could you not just tell your side of the story without someone else being there? I mean, dude, you don't need someone to write out a tweet on the internet, yet you wanted someone to be there during Dylan's interview with you? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, this is, again, the epitome of you are being either not wanting to or just too scared to take responsibility for your own actions. And, dude, at this point, you're in your 30s. Like, give me a break, man.
Just let them know I am clinically diagnosed with anxiety and depression. So, due to what was happening, I needed it. And obviously, I didn't want him to hear my whole I didn't want him to hear the whole argument because. But yeah, every time during these chats, my mom's been difficult.
Well, that's the thing, Spax, is that Dylan found out anyway. He found out that you had Asperger's syndrome or autism. And guess what? I have that shit too. But you use that as an excuse to attack other people, and you still to this day, long after the interview has been released. So I don't know why you even tried to hide it, because it's already out there. Because you've made it known. I mean, if I didn't want people to know that I had cancer back when I was 17, I wouldn't have said anything. But I did. And I just can't all of a sudden take that back. It's out there for the internet to hear. And you know what? I accept that. I accept the fact that I made that known. I accept the fact that I made a lot of things I went through in my life known. And it's just, that's the fact of life. If you don't want people to know what you're going through, you don't talk about it. And, there's one thing I agree with Dylan on is that, a lot of people, have had, multiple mental issues, including myself, and that's why I fought with you for so long. But at this point, I just kind of want to end it, or at least not so much end it, but at least close my side of the chapter, so I can finally move on. And even though I told Dylan in my email to him that I have moved on, I just really wanted to get this off my chest and just explain to you why, from the even from the sidelines, why this has been just such a painful thing to watch, of just making people suffer, and you're just using your medical illnesses as an excuse to do it. And at this point, you need to move on. As Dylan said, and I agree with it, you have to move on. Everyone in some way has got to move on. And if you're not willing to move on, dude, if you're just willing to stay in that square, then you're just reserving yourself for damnation. Lifelong damnation. Now, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in the afterlife, but the thing is, that just sounds like a freaking nightmare. And that's a nightmare I wouldn't wish on anyone. No, not even you. Not even you. I would not wish that on you. I actually would like for you to move on and make up for your mistakes, but I don't see that happening. I legit think you're too far gone for that.
I thought her being a witness would actually be valuable, but it seems I'm mistaken. I'm absolutely mistaken. I can't do this with her anymore. I can't trust her.
If you don't trust your own mother, then there's some problems there. Or just a family member, because holy crap, dude, that's pretty messed up. I mean, and this is why no one trusts you. I mean, again, you just think that it's only everyone else. This is why you go off on tangents against Mike. This is why you go off on tangents against everyone else that you've ever met that has, decided to say, I want to keep my distance from you. And you go so far as to take that as a personal attack without doing any sort of cognitive behavioral therapy, which, like I said, just means looking inside yourself and see if you did anything wrong before you go off and try to blame someone else. And trust me, there's a lot that you have done wrong, dude.
Also, she was going to say he's not autistic, he has depression. I was like, but keep in mind, I didn't know that at the moment. I and she's done this multiple times before. I panicked.
Then why, before this audio even started, between you, your mother, and this other person you're talking to, I have no idea who they are, why didn't you say, Mom, don't mention that? Or better yet, why did you even have her there? Again, like, if you didn't want her to say anything about it, you shouldn't have freaking had her there. Because, dude, that has been a main thing that you usually use, you know, to people. It's like, well, I have autism or Asperger's, and sometimes it's really hard to control my anger. It's like, you have made that excuse countless times. I mean, it's been archived. All this stuff's been archived. Uh, of course, Dylan was gonna find it eventually. I mean, the guy does his research. He dives deeply into some shit, man. I mean, his video on you wasn't the only one I watched.
And I was like, just because I felt safer, can I take over here, please? And then she had to be whisper. I mean, granted, I kind of did that too, but she was louder about it.
Then you have no real right to be mad at her about it, since you're doing the same thing. Specs, just because you admit your hypocrisy does not excuse you from committing hypocrisy.
I hope so. Yeah, I'm not going to include my mom anymore. I don't trust her. Hey, I actually went through the Nicola one fine without my mom. Though granted, I can't trust Nicola, as I've seen.
You know, Specs, I find this one kind of funny because you went to her and told her some shit about me that I probably did do. But the thing is that I don't know what you told her. I would like to know what you told her about me, and that's one of the reasons why I want to confront you. Why it's like, what did you tell her? Did you say that I was abusive to you or some shit like that? Like, dude, I never went after you unless you went after one of my friends. That has always been the case. And you have never, ever had the stones to stand up when I confronted you. However, here's the thing is that I really didn't obsess over it. All I did was warn her about your past actions, and she sadly had to figure out the hard way. And I really didn't want her to, but that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. I didn't go after her, I didn't attack her, I never harassed her. It was just really nice to hear from her again after all the years that went by. And you know what? I'm glad that she's okay because I never held a grudge against her. I never said, "Oh, how dare she do that to me? I am the Prince of Moose. You can't do that to me." Because I'm not that self centered. But that's the way you come off, dude. It's like, how dare you do that to me? You betrayed me and all that shit. You know, again, I'm not trying to be insulting, but that's what you have done in the past and what you are still doing to this day.
I'm just gonna go get a mic. So I'm gonna watch an episode of the Amanda Show. After that episode is done, I will get back. Just you know, can I just say this last thing before I go? Just because I want to vent quickly. My mom says, "Oh, when you act like an adult, treat you like one." Yeah, I wasn't being adult there due to how bad my anxiety and anger got because I was anxious due to how she was what she did. But the thing is, I just said stop.
Specs, you don't seem to understand that it transcends even that portion. Yeah, she said it to you at that point in time, but how many times have you had your mother go and call up other people and confront them in your place, even when you're in your 30s? That has to be really embarrassing. I mean, you want to talk about having anxiety? I mean, I would feel more anxious if if I always like ran to my dad's house and was saying, "Hey, Dad, I need you to confront someone. I need you to confront someone for me on the internet." You know what he'd do? He'd probably just say, "Stop talking to the guy. I don't got time for this shit. What the fuck you doing, man? Like, grow up, man. You're 34 years old." And he'd be right. Dude, you're like at the time of this recording, I'm assuming you're either 33 or 34. You need to stop freaking blaming your mom for you need to stop it. You have to stop blaming your mom for this for her looking at you that way. It's because of how you act. And everyone else does too. It's not just her. It's me. It's everyone you've ever met. Like the only friends that you have right now, or should I say friends in quotation marks, are people that you surround yourself with and they're just overglorified yes men. And that's got to be nightmarish right there. No one that's willing to actually talk to you or call you out on some of the stuff you do, and you just want to have a and you just want to be surrounded with a bunch of yes men because you think that's going to make you better. No. C- Listening to someone being critical of you sometimes can help you grow as a person. And that's why you're still in the same damn square after all these years. I'm going to commentate over one more part of this response because a lot of it is just police sirens or ambulance sirens and how he says that something should be for like $2.99 and some other shit. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
I'm going to apologize to my mom for at least throwing a bag at her. Throwing a bag at her. Throwing a bag at her. Yeah, I wasn't trying to seriously injure her or anything, but things just got really heated, and I snapped.
And there it is, dude. Like, just listen to the tone of how you're saying that. You're sorry for throwing a bag at her. Well, here's the thing. I don't know the context. What's in said bag? Was there something in said bag that could actually injure her? Was there just like some like little treats or something? Well, even then, why did you throw anything at her? Like, you, like, this is one of the reasons I truly believe why the one that was closest to you ended up leaving you, because this was probably the future she foresaw. And I just, she broke it off with you due to this stuff like this. Like, this is how abusive relationships happen. This is how you end up being a criminal. You know, you end up being a criminal, and then you're on like just can't swim criminal psychology, and we're going to be learning about Alex said Prince stairs, or also known as Spax 3, in about like 10 years. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic, dude. Like, you're already admitting that you're throwing shit at people because they offend you. And that's all I have to say in terms of this audio. Spax, I don't know what the heck is going on with you still, but you have never once taken responsibility for your actions. You have never once apologized to any single person that you have wronged, because you still think you're in the right. And honestly, personally speaking, in a way, I kind of don't care if you do at this point, because it's been 12 years. You've had well over 12 years to realize you're wrong, and you have yet to do so. It's everyone else's fault but your own. Just listening to you this whole time, just whine about how your mom was treating you, when, dude, you're almost in your 40s at this point, and you are still living with your mother. And don't give me that whole, it's because you're nursing her. I nurse my father, and we live in completely different houses. We live in completely different houses, man. I'm sorry. You cannot tell me, under any circumstances, that's the reason why you're still staying with her. The only way I'll open this chapter back up is if you actively confront me, and we can actually have an adult conversation for once. And before you use my previous video against me, I still meant every word I said. I was just drunk when I said it. Because even though I was drunk when I said it, I'll still take responsibility for saying it. You have never had the stones to come and confront me when I confronted you. And dude, listen to yourself. Like, I don't foresee you being a free man for much longer, honestly. Again, I'm not trying to be insulting, but this is what people who eventually become criminals do. And how people end up dead. I don't know, maybe you're an outlier, but those who always believe that they're the ones that were in the wrong and that they think that they're always in the right, they end up taking matters into their own hands, and then they end up on a freaking crime psychology show, or a crime psychology video like Just Can't Swim Criminal Psychology. So I suggest you learn to grow up, or at least just try to grow up and just do some self-reflection, but I doubt that's going to happen. I don't know how much longer things are going to keep going for you, man, unless you actively take responsibility for your actions. Instead of just running to the whole, I was scared and I was panicking. Yes, as adults, we panic, we get scared, shit like that, but we have to be control of our emotions. We have to take control of our lives. And if you're not willing to take control of yours, then I'm sorry, that's your problem. That's all I wanted to say. And anyone who listened to this all the way through, thank you very much. Take care, everyone. And Spax, like I said, grow up.